Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a drink, it is time for some PathOfExile discussion. A few days ago, GGG said they were going to nerf Archnemesis defensive modifiers pretty hard. They were planning to have that out on Friday, and then that got delayed and it didn't end up happening till Monday. Not only did it not come till Monday, but it also caused a number of problems when the patch did arrive today. So let's go through what was changed here. Firstly, there were the Archnemesis defensive modifier changes. These seem pretty much exactly what was teased before. Now these represent a massive nerf to Headhunter and Inspired Learning, and a moderate nerf to monsters across the board. If your character was using Headhunter before these changes, your character will feel weaker now. If your character was not using Headhunter, it will feel stronger after this patch. Quite a lot so, because the tankier Archnemesis monsters were ones you spent disproportionate amounts of time fighting. So for instance, if your character dealt only chaos damage over time, you might have found that your time to kill on average on rare monsters was 1 second, but your time to kill on Chaos Weaver monsters might have been 16 seconds. And your time to kill on monsters that had both Consecrator and Chaos Weaver may have been 35 seconds. After this patch, you can expect that to be more like 5-second time to kill on Chaos Weavers, and Chaos Weaver plus Consecrator might be 8 seconds now. With that in mind, you won't notice those monsters as much as you had in the past. In terms of other changes here, I don't recall seeing Vampiric no longer has enemies cannot leech mana from you in the patch note preview before. So that means that attack-based builds will no longer need countermeasures for those encounters with Vampiric monsters, at least the very, very tanky Vampiric monsters. That's all stuff we knew was going to come, so I won't go into all the details of that. I will put a link down in the description below in case you missed where that was discussed earlier. But broadly speaking, expect those tanky Archnemesis monsters to be a lot squishier than they've been before. Secondly, there were some changes to Lake of Calandra rewards. These are not sweeping changes, these are quite specialised. So Metamorph rewards have roughly been doubled. The chance for rewards for Metamorphs to be doubled in Metamorph Reflections has been increased across the board. Metamorphs in Reflection of Metamorph, which is the bottom tier one, now have 3 additional rewards. Reflection of Catalysis now has 8 additional rewards, but catalysts from it are no longer duplicated. This is a buff overall. And then Metamorphs in Reflection of Experimentation now have 8 additional rewards, and the catalysts that it drops are duplicated. Then Legion encounters gained 100% increased duration. This means you've got longer to break them out of the crystal that they're in. And 2 of the most dangerous Lake of Calandra exclusive monsters have been nerfed. Really, I don't think that this is a large package of changes here. I'm still not that warm on doing the lake myself, although there are a couple of jackpot reward possibilities. Next, there's the fixes and improvements sections, and one of these was the cause of all the downtime. Firstly, there was a trip down memory lane challenge. This is a challenge that requires you to do a number of Atlas memories. However, what seems to have happened is that when GGG was planning the expansion, they designed a few more of these than ended up in the expansion. So when the expansion came out, a number of these didn't exist. They'd set the challenge to be do 6 of these, but 6 felt like it was too much, so they reduced the challenge down to 4, and this caused some complications. This caused a bug where it looked like you had done challenges you hadn't done. So for instance, your progress towards 6,000 map mods may have been boosted. That happened to me. I had a temporary boost in that wasn't actually something I'd earned. It was just buffed for some reason because of this bug. Anyways, that's now been fixed, but it took them an hour or so of downtime today. Maybe it was a little longer than an hour. It's a bit hard to remember. Then after that, there were a number of other little bug fixes that were done. Anyway, that's all there is in 3.19.0F. Mega Varlorbs have interesting results, and I've got some videos coming up on crafting that will be in the next few days.